Good afternoon, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels, live from Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's right. If you're here joining me live on YouTube, you can see Lambeau Field directly behind me, along with Corey's Garden. That's right. It's training camp, people. I'm back in Green Bay. Everyone can relax now. I'm sure Brian and Athletes First are like, oh, Nagler's here. We can get the deal done now. So Jordan Love's deal, undoubtedly, will be signed tonight. Now that they know I'm in town, I kid, of course. Jordan Love's deal remains unsigned, though we did get some promising reporting this morning from Pro Football Talk. Mike Florio saying that they are, quote, close. Sure feels a lot closer than the Athletic report made it seem yesterday. So, truth is probably somewhere in the middle, but hopefully we're marching towards a deal and Jordan Love will be out on that practice field sooner rather than later. Hopefully by the time Pats come on this weekend. But in the meantime, hello to everybody in the comments. Hope you're all doing well. And speaking of quarterbacks, I do want to pump the brakes on the hysteria around Sean Clifford, Pratt, even Eason, given that they've had now all of 3 days, one of which was in a torrential downpour, and seemingly everyone in Packers fandom has given up on them and they are absolutely trash and time to bring in some other quarterbacks or whatever. Man, can we all just take a breath? Just relax just a little bit. I mean, forget the fact that each and every year the defense almost always starts out faster than the offense, just across the league, let alone in Green Bay. But yes, it's a different style of defense as well. In years past, we've had a lot of, oh, hey, sit back, keep it all in front of you, rally and tackle style of defense. This year, obviously quite a bit different, right? And look, I'm very excited about the defense. I'm excited for Eric Stokes getting a couple interceptions. I'm excited for Evan Williams making plays his kind of first days of camp. We're all very excited about the defense. But man, I don't understand turning around then and just pointing your fingers at the quarterbacks. Yes, they've made some bad plays, undoubtedly. But, this idea that they should just hit the ground running, especially considering that, Clifford in particular, um, probably spent, the majority of the offseason with the twos and was ready to come back and go along with the twos again until Saturday when he found out, oh, hey, you're going to be with the starters, with the ones, not only playing with obviously higher level guys around him, but also going against higher level competition. And I think if you go back and you watch last year's camp, or if you go back and look at the notes from last year's camp, you'll see Clifford didn't come out of the gate firing. He didn't come out of the gate and wow people. It took him some time to find his footing and to get going. And then when he really came alive was family night. And then those next couple preseason games, you really saw him get into a groove. So can we just breathe just a little bit when it comes to the backup quarterbacks? And who knows with Pratt? I mean, the boys had 3 practices in the NFL, training camp practices, that is. I mean, let's just breathe here on the backup quarterbacks and how, quote, bad they are. Like, there is so much ball game left in training camp. Let's not kind of condemn them before we even give them a chance, which we clearly haven't, judging by a lot of the comments. And I'm not saying that this has been one or two people. I've seen a lot of this. Man, there is so long to go here. So many days left in training camp. Let's pump the brakes just a little bit. I'm not saying you excuse everything. I'm not saying that they don't have to be more productive, which of course they do, but I mean, just breathe, people. Just do a little breathing. And while you're breathing, you should visit our friends over at Ticket King. That's right. Based in Wisconsin since 1992, Ticket King is located across the street from Lambeau Field on Oneida. They're happy to help you find just the right tickets for Packers games, from larger groups to single tickets, both home and away. They partner with local Green Bay businesses for tailgating and bus transportation to the games, so you don't have to worry about driving or parking. They're even open on game day for last minute tickets or possible upgrades. They even have a drive through window. And if you're not in Green Bay, no problem. Just use the Ticket King link on the Cheesehead TV homepage, on our app, or indeed in the link in the description of this video. Do it, people. You don't want to use Ticketmaster, StubHub, or SeatGeek, none of these national companies. Use a company based in Wisconsin since the early 90s. Ticket King for all your Packer ticket needs. Do it, people. You want to. Jordan Love's going to sign that deal and he's going to be slinging it around the yard. You want to be there when it happens. Use Ticket King. Hello to everybody in the comments. Hope you're all doing well. Joey, starting us off as usual. What's up, man? Garden looking great, Banky. I will let Corey know. Yeah, I believe he is on a phone call at the moment in his office, but when he reappears, I'll send him your compliments, Joey. Nick, thanks for the super chat. I always thought one of these backup QBs would eventually turn into trade bait at the end of camp. Go Pack Go. Hashtag get the deal done. They still could because 98% of the time when a team decides to make a trade like that, they do so off of what they've seen in preseason games, not from the first 3 days of training camp. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. And yeah, there's still every bit of possibility that something like that happens. Maybe not this year, but next year, down the line, entirely possible. Andrew, how are you, man? Thanks for the super chat. As a Pro Shop employee, it's great to see you making us one of your first stops back in Green Bay. Andrew, it's a tradition. I have to do it. As soon as I get to Green Bay, I come to Lambeau Field, I hit the Pro Shop. The only thing I hit up before you guys was Kroll's. So, yes, never, ever miss an opportunity to go into the Pro Shop. And like you said, or like I told you, there was a hat there that I saw online that I was going to order and have it delivered to my dad's place in Appleton. But then I was like, I'm going to be there in a few days. I'll just buy it when I'm in Green Bay. So I did. It was great to see you, and thanks for saying hello. Devin, thanks for the super chat, man. Hey, Nags, how's it going? What do you think is the main holdup on Love? Average amount, length, guaranteed money, or is it just the structure of it? I would suspect all of that. I mean, at this point, it could be any number of things. And what is promising to me, and where I keep my hope at this point, is the fact that there really hasn't been any reporting around what the holdup is. When that happens, if and when that happens, if they get to a point and things are frayed and they can't seem to move forward, you can bet one side or the other, most likely Athletes First will leak some kind of contract hang up, here's where the negotiations are going wrong, etc. kind of report. Then I would start to worry as a fan that this might drag on way longer than necessary. But the fact that we haven't got any inkling in that regard is promising. What we keep hearing is that it's close, they're working on it, etc. So the other thing we keep hearing is that he being Love is going to be one of, if not the highest paid player in the history of the league, or the highest paid quarterback in the history of the league, and yada, yada, yada. So that seems to be the messaging from the agents, I would suspect. But until we see the news alert, as it were, I'm just going to thank my lucky stars that we haven't got any grousing through agents or reporting yet. But as far as like what the hangup could be, I suspect they're having to get really creative with cash flow those first 2 or 3 years and guarantees past the first year, which the Packers just do not want to do. But maybe they do it for Jordan. We'll see. Jeezy Baby, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. What a beautiful sight. Also, Lambeau looking nice. They're clearly talking about Corey's garden. Appreciate it, man. Abdul, how are you, man? Thanks for the super chat. Hey, Aaron, is Love involved in all of meetings? I would suspect he's involved in none of the contract meetings. I think he's involved in all of the football meetings. That's why he's in the building. So dependent on your meetings definition, yes, he's involved in everything that he should be involved in as far as meetings with the quarterbacks, the offense, the coaches, all of that, all the classroom stuff. He's involved in each and every one of those. But as far as the meetings about his contract, obviously I'm not a fly on the wall. I haven't been in any of the meetings, the calls, what have you, but I would suspect no, he is not involved in most of those. Mimsy, thanks for the super chat, man. Who is back first, Love or Yelich? Hashtag pain. Well, hey, good news today from the Yelich front. I read that he's planning on trying to work through it and work on some kind of treatment plan and not have surgery, which would obviously have shut him down for the remainder of the season. So hopefully we see Yelly back there at some point this season. But as far as between Love and Yelly, definitely Love. No question about it. Chris, thanks to the super chat, man. Nags, enjoy your time back home and rock out this weekend. Cheers. Thanks, Chris. If you're talking about Motel Men, that's next Friday, a week from tomorrow night. But yes, always rocking out. But these next 3 days, I'm here in Green Bay at practice, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Could be a nice stretch, and the pad should come on this weekend. So I'm ready for some hitting. Adrian, thanks for the super chat, man. Do you think the value we have at wide receiver and tight end is even greater than the value of having a high-end quarterback on a rookie contract? I mean, probably not, just because of where the quarterback, the top end, top flight quarterback contracts have ended up and are continuing to go. I do think that is a major advantage if you get high level play at that position, right? That's the trick, right? It's all well and good to have a quarterback on a rookie contract. Great. That's real easy to do. But to get him to play at a high level right out the gate so you can take advantage of, the cap space that's afforded to you. And is significant comparative to, well, if you're getting, say, Joe Burrow level play, but for pennies on the dollar, well, yeah, you can take advantage of that. And I think obviously the 49ers are a great example of this. I mean, last year, I think people kept jokingly calling them the Avengers because you look, they're literally getting the last dude in the draft on his deal, and that allows them to keep an insane collection of talent around him. Now, once they pay him, it's going to be really tough. Now, you flip that around, your question here. I mean, last year, the Packers had the cheapest offense in the NFL, like literally. And you saw what they did. They certainly were able to take advantage of that as far as really going through a youth movement and developing these young players and allowing them to grow throughout the season. The issue there, of course, is you have to live through those growing pains. And you saw that kind of take a toll in the win loss column early in the season, right? I do think over a couple of years, it affords them a nice window, but there's going to come a moment where maybe not to the extent that, when you pay a quarterback, you're really putting I'm not going to say albatross, but you're putting a pretty heavy weight onto your salary cap. It's a little different because you've got a lot of different options as far as the guys you can choose to make a core of your program. Now, how many of those guys are you going to be able to do that for? And how many of those guys are going to want to stick around and maybe take a little less than they could get on the open market because they can stay here and A, play with Jordan, or B, play in this offense and know that their numbers are going to be pretty consistent, etc. I mean, I remember the Packers trying to do something along those lines with Randall Cobb. His first extension was like a 3-year deal, I think. And I remember being pretty surprised by that. Um, his first post rookie contract, right? And if you could get a bunch of guys to agree to that kind of thing, maybe you could take advantage in that situation. But I do think, this window here, these next 2 years really is when the Packers have to strike with this group, because after that, the decisions start to get tough as far as who to target and kind of keep around. Abdul, thanks again, man. What is our thinnest position? That's a good question. Right now, I'd probably say tackle, offensive tackle. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to remain so. I think guys can grow. Certainly, when you saw Rasheed Walker out there in Atlanta week 2 of last year, you probably weren't saying, hey, that's our left tackle starting next season. I don't think anybody was saying that, but he grew on the job, right? He got opportunities to get on the field and develop, and he turned into a pretty damn good player that last month or so of the season. But sitting here right now on paper, yeah, I think tackles kind of thin. I think they've got a lot of upside there. I think they've got a lot of talent, but it has to be cultivated, it has to be developed, and hopefully that turns into a strength. But right now, I think it's, on paper, it looks a little thin, no doubt. Lambo, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Good Lord, it's training camp. We should just be excited. Football is back. Are you tagging up with Ramage at all up there? Got to go on his show. Well, I tried to go on his show a couple weeks ago, but he forgot to turn his mic on. True story. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see Matt. I might be seeing him tomorrow night, actually. A bunch of us are going to the Blizzard playoff game. I think Matt's coming. So, yes, we'll definitely be seeing Ramage while I'm up here without fail. Abdul, here's my challenge to you, buddy. Frame a question in a positive manner. That's the challenge for Abdul. Say it's week 14. Is Josh Myers still the starter? Is he healthy? If so, probably. Y'all want to cut Josh Myers and bench him and demote him at any provocation, and all he does is go out there, perform it at a damn high level. Lambo, what's up? Correction, I got to go on his show. Oh, you got to go on his show. Very cool. Justin, what's going on, man? Thanks for the super chat. Got to admit, Big Cat is great at playing our fan base like a fiddle for someone who doesn't have a lot of ammo. Questioning bigger diva between 10 and 12. He just knows the buttons to push. I mean, it's not hard. It's pretty simple. We know as Packers fans what we're touchy about. And yeah, Dan absolutely knows. I mean, look, it's not like he's got anything to be proud of with his own team. So, of course, he's got to fish outside of Chicago for material because God knows. You talk about the Bears, people just start laughing, which I guess would be good for him because that's his whole shtick, right? Like he's a comedian, So there you go. Oh, that's good stuff. Joey, what's up, man? When do pads come on? I believe full pads will be on Sunday. That's just guesswork. We'll ask Coach tomorrow, I'm sure. But in the CBA, there are certain amounts of days. Those first 3 days, and you have to have the day off, which is today, and you have to have 5 total practices before you can go full pads. And then after that full pad practice, you have to have a day off. So that would put Friday, Saturday as no full pads, though I think on Saturday they may go like half pads. And then Sunday will be fully padded, and then Monday is their off day after the fully padded practice. That's just guesswork, reading the CBA. Don't hold me to it, because God knows I am no lawyer. Daniel, you know what helps with the panic? Carry the G. I have to get out to Ridgeview Liquor here because I think they still have some. One of the few spots left in town that still has some left. So I'm definitely going to have to get out there on my way home. Kevin, weeks? We can't do weeks, Nags. Need our leader on the field and training camp. Get the deal done. They're close. They're close. I think given what we've heard from Florio this morning, sure feels like things are trending towards this getting done probably during the weekend. That's the hope, right? We'll see, though. Doesn't take much for these things to hit a snag. But everyone keeps saying they're close. They're close. Freddie, how was Stokes today? They didn't practice today. Today is a practice day off, which is why I chose it as my travel day, so I could come in and get ready for tomorrow. So they'll be back on the practice field tomorrow morning. They are, as I said, mandated by the CBA. Those first 3 practices, they have to have an off day. So they will be back at Radinski Field tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Travis says, need carry the G in South Dakota. Man, I need carry the G here in Green Bay right now, but I hear you. We're working on it, probably a few years out for the South Dakota area, but we'll be there sooner rather than later. Dennis says, sorry, but I don't see Jordan Love being a diva. Neither do I. I see Jordan Love being smart. I love, it didn't take long, right? We got the headlines, oh, Jordan Love being selfish, ? Man, I guess it's part of the gig, right? It comes with the territory. When someone doesn't just lock in and do what's expected, you're automatically a problem or it's selfish or whatever. And it's like, no, he's being smart. I applaud guys being smart. That's just me. It's just something I'm into. But, your mileage may vary. Nags, you going to any pressers in person, Brandy? You better believe it. I'll be there at Coach's presser bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm sure he'll be very happy to see me. But we'll see. Yes, I'll be at all the availabilities here through the 9th of August. So, Matt every day, Brian once a week, the coordinators on one side of the ball or the other every other week. So hopefully get some good sound, get some good questions in, get to talk to all the guys I only see once a year. It's a good time. Abdul, no, that's fairly positive. Well done. What role do you see Brenton Cox play this year? I'm fascinated to watch him with his hand in the ground. This whole switch, we've talked a lot about Preston and Rashawn having to make the switch, so to speak, right? Brenton Cox, I think he looked like a terror last year in camp. And that's obviously while he was standing up. Can he make that switch? Is that going to be a smooth transition? I haven't seen much reported about him so far these first couple days, but it's very early and they, obviously haven't even had pads on. So I do think if he can translate what he was doing last year, that he could be a contributor. He could be part of the rotation. I don't think that's going to be easy to crack. He's got essentially 4 guys ahead of him with those starters and then Lucas Van Ness and Igbare. So I do think there's a path for him if he can make that transition. He has to make it real hard for them to cut him. And he's going to do that by being a demon on special teams. If he can maybe hopefully contribute to some of the new kickoff stuff, maybe help on punt coverage, stuff like that. That's where he's going to make his mark, and that's how he's going to make the team. He has to, essentially. Get coach over for a beer. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll invite him. We'll invite him and Goody. Hell, we'll invite him, Goody, and Jordan. They can all come over for a beer. It'll be a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, buddy. I'm going to have to get going. I cannot thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day. Jeezy Baby has one in right under the wire here. Let Love make his money. Packers would cut him without a worry. Why shouldn't it go both ways? Couldn't agree more. Absolutely 1000% correct. I'm totally with you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV. We are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. I'll be back tomorrow with another Packers Daily. Maybe if there's some Jordan news, we'll go live twice. But other than that, I'll be at, like I just told Brandy, I'll be at Coach's Presser bright and early in the morning, and then I'll be on the sideline for practice. If you're in the area and you're going to practice and you see me around, please say hello. I had a couple people say hi to me today. Always really appreciate it when people reach out. And I do want to give a shout out to the guy who said hello to me this morning in the Minneapolis airport. I very much appreciate it. I was dead to the world, so tired. I'm sorry I didn't have a more engaging moment for you, but it was very nice to meet you, and thank you for saying hello, and thanks for saying nice stuff about Cheesehead TV. Appreciate it. All right, buddy. I'm going to get going. Thanks so much. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Go Pack Go.